After spending over 3 months at the bottom of the ocean, SpaceX has finally given us some information about what happened to their Booster B11. Musk shared some fascinating photos and details that had not been revealed before, showcasing the booster's condition and the incredible journey it endured. We'll discuss these updates in detail, including how Booster B11 fared and what this means for future missions. Before we dive deeper into the story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated with the latest news on the Starship program and SpaceX's other groundbreaking achievements. The recent recovery of SpaceX's Booster B11 from the Gulf of Mexico has provided more details about what happened during and after Flight 4. Booster B11 played a significant role in lifting the Starship to space, being powered by 33 Raptor 2 engines, which produce an immense thrust. Despite its massive power, the booster faced challenges, particularly during the landing phase. The last flight of SpaceX's Starship, which took place on June 6, was a major test of the Super Heavy booster and the upper stage spacecraft. The entire stack of Starship, standing 122 meters tall, was launched from SpaceX's launch site at Starbase, Texas, and both the booster and upper stage managed to perform well during the initial ascent. During the ascent phase, the booster, which is powered by 33 Raptor 2 engines, functioned as expected, propelling the Starship to the desired altitude. About 2 minutes and 41 seconds into the flight, most of the engines shut down, leaving just 3 engines running to continue supporting the booster. Shortly afterward, the upper stage of the Starship separated and continued its journey into space, while the booster began its descent back towards the Earth. The descent and landing were particularly challenging. The booster was designed to perform a boost-back burn that would allow it to decelerate and guide itself back towards a targeted landing zone. However, it faced problems during this phase. SpaceX reported that the booster experienced lower than expected thrust during the landing burn at around 462 meters above the Gulf of Mexico, just under 7 minutes into the mission. This issue was traced back to a blockage in the liquid oxygen filter, which led to a loss of pressure in the engine's oxygen turbopumps. This blockage prevented the engines from maintaining the necessary power, resulting in the booster being unable to make a controlled landing on the platform as planned. Instead of landing as intended, B11 made a soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico. The term soft splashdown refers to the booster descending into the water in a controlled manner, but without the precision and power needed for a stable landing. It wasn't a crash, but the impact with the water and the time it spent submerged resulted in significant damage. The intention behind this splashdown was to collect data on how the booster would handle the conditions, even if it didn't achieve a perfect landing. Upon recovery, the booster was found to be heavily damaged. Musk recently shared some photos of Booster B11 with the caption, "Starship Super Heavy Booster Flight 4." These photos give us a detailed look at the damage it sustained during its journey, splashdown, and time spent underwater. The booster is made primarily of stainless steel, which is known for its durability and ability to withstand extreme temperatures. This material is commonly used in many of SpaceX's Starship components because of its resilience, as it can handle temperatures ranging from -150 to about 800 degrees Celsius without losing structural integrity. However, even with this impressive heat resistance, the harsh conditions of space, the rapid descent, and the extended period underwater would have caused significant stress on the structure. The booster's engines, in particular, faced high levels of heat during flight and landing, which likely caused deformation. When it landed in the ocean, the rapid cooling from the water could have led to further cracking, especially if there were any existing microfractures caused by the landing. The ocean environment is particularly harsh on materials like stainless steel, even though it's relatively corrosion-resistant. Extended exposure to saltwater can accelerate corrosion and weaken any exposed joints or damaged sections. This is likely why some of the internal components, like wires and fuel systems, appeared heavily corroded and damaged in the photos Musk shared. The damage seen in the photos is consistent with a piece of hardware that experienced multiple stresses. The engine ring, which typically holds all 33 Raptor engines, now has only 14 engines still attached, with many of them twisted and misshaped. This suggests that the engines faced tremendous forces during the landing, and while resting at the bottom of the ocean. The upper parts of the booster appear to be missing entirely, which might indicate that they broke off upon impact or were retrieved separately during the recovery efforts in September. The booster's return to SpaceX is crucial, not because it can be reused, but because it offers a valuable opportunity for engineers to analyze how well the booster handled the extreme conditions. By examining the damage, SpaceX can gather insights into how their materials and design hold up against harsh re-entry, splashdowns, and prolonged ocean exposure. This will allow them to make adjustments and improvements for future booster designs, ensuring that they become more durable and better suited for potential reuse in future missions. When Musk shared the photos of B11, he commented, "Fixer upper," suggesting that SpaceX is working hard to study and repair the booster. This process is very important for the company. Since this was the first time both stages of Starship successfully landed, SpaceX now has a unique chance to learn from this booster and improve their designs. A big part of this study will be finding out why some of the engines were bent and twisted. Even though being underwater might have changed some things, the data SpaceX gathers from B11 will still be very helpful. By analyzing these details, they can make changes and improvements for future missions. While SpaceX successfully recovered the booster, there's an interesting story about the upper stage as well. As it re-entered Earth's atmosphere, the upper stage faced intense heat and pressure. Cameras on the exterior captured footage showing that one of the large flaps, which helps control the descent, was taking severe damage as it began to burn away. This flap damage caused visible glowing chunks to fall off, exposing some of the underlying structure. Despite this, the upper stage maintained control during re-entry, and SpaceX employees could be heard reacting to this development with gasps as they watched it unfold in real time. Despite the flap damage, the upper stage managed to complete a controlled descent and performed a landing burn. The final step was a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean, marking the first time the upper stage had survived both re-entry and splashdown. The controlled splashdown in the ocean provided invaluable data, and SpaceX will analyze the damage to make further improvements. This event also represents a significant step toward developing Starship as a fully reusable launch vehicle capable of future missions, including the Artemis program with NASA, which aims to land astronauts on the Moon. SpaceX is now gearing up for the 5th test flight of the Starship rocket. This upcoming flight will not just test Starship's ability to achieve its mission objectives, but will also push SpaceX closer to realizing a fully reusable launch system. Musk has mentioned that this catch maneuver using the Mechazilla arms will be a critical step. However, there are some regulatory hurdles SpaceX needs to clear before they can proceed with Flight 5. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration is still working through the licensing approval process due to the different trajectory planned for this flight compared to Flight 4. If you've watched this far, we've got a special surprise just for you. We're offering a limited number of highly realistic Starship models, exclusively for our most loyal viewers. Since you've stuck around this long, it's clear you're dedicated, so why not reward yourself? Head to the link in the description and grab your Starship model before they're all gone. Don't miss out. It's the perfect collector's item for true space fans like you. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.